Retail in the modern era is at a crossroads as a result of a number of issues, including struggling physical storefronts, enormous debt, and inefficient operations. The COVID-19 pandemic initially exacerbated these issues and accelerated the demise of a number of retailers, which had previously struggled with declining sales and mounting debt as consumer preferences evolved. With iconic brands like Neiman Marcus and JCPenney's pandemic feel, department stores proved to be the most vulnerable. Even before the pandemic, mall foot traffic was down, but stay-at-home orders led more people to shop online and spend money on essential goods instead. Want to know about it in detail? Well, stay tuned till the end. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will talk about 25 largest grocery stores in America that declared bankruptcy. Meanwhile, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. That being done, let's start. Despite the fact that we still can't seem to come to a genuinely post-coronavirus reality, retail is on the bounce back. According to Axios, there were 52 retail bankruptcies in 2020, but there were only 21 in 2021, a 60% decrease from the previous year. However, retail is not yet out of the woods as a result of this. We've seen a few businesses fail this year due to retailers having to deal with old problems, rising prices, and a possible recession. Number 1. Olympia Sports. Olympia Sports filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in mid-September. At the time, the company expressed its intent to close its remaining stores by the end of the month. They have closed a number of unprofitable stores between 2013 and 2019. Number 2. Future Retail. At the end of July, an Indian court accepted the Bank of India's petition to admit debt-ridden retail chain operator Future Retail, FR, into the bankruptcy resolution process. The retail giant and FR shareholder claimed that creditors had colluded with FR to deny its rights after battling for control of FR since 2019. Number 3. Revlon. The company had previously tried to prevent bankruptcy by taking on Citigroup as its loan agent. However, while the bank originally intended to send $8 million in interest payments to Revlon's lenders, it accidentally wired $900 million. Number 4. Misguided. UK-based Misguided fell into administration at the end of May, as it owed more money than it was making and had a number of suppliers that had not been paid for orders. The company's attempt to find a buyer provider proved to be successful. Number 5. Escada America. While the pandemic played a key role in driving Escada America to bankruptcy, the branch had been struggling with a myriad of issues in the years prior. The company has agreed to close 5 of its 10 U.S. locations as part of the bankruptcy process. Number 6. ABC Carpet & Home. After 124 years in business, the high-end home goods retailer filed for Chapter 11 protection with around $80 million in unsecured debt and $8 million in secured debt. Notably, the company initially survived the onset of the pandemic. However, like others in its space, it ultimately succumbed to decreased foot traffic and supply chain disruption. Number 7. Lorna Jane. Despite experiencing a surge in e-commerce revenue amid the pandemic, the retailer's brick-and-mortar sales dropped 56% in 2020, leaving it unable to meet its lease obligations. The company was then hit with a $3.7 million fine in July 2021 after falsely advertising that its clothing was capable of eliminating and providing protection from COVID-19. Number 8. Sequential Brands Group. The company, which owns brands such as Jessica Simpson, Joe's Jeans, Avia, and One, ended 2020 with a debt load upwards of $450 million, which it had been struggling to pay down amid executive flight in the lead up to its filing. Number 9. Global Brands Group USA / Established in 2005 by the century-old Lai & Fung, the company licenses major brands such as All Saints, Saga, and Le Tiger, and makes private label products as well. A large majority of its sales, around 85%, come from wholesaling to major retailers like Macy's, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, and Costco, which left it vulnerable to the decline of retail store foot traffic and consumer spending brought on by the pandemic. Number 10. Alex and Ani. The company known for its bangle bracelets experienced success in its early days, notching a $1 billion valuation in 2016. Shortly afterward, the company began a downslide driven by legal complications, executive turnover, and mismanagement. Number 11. Washington Prime Group. Mall owner Washington Prime Group filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection after temporarily closing around 100 shopping centers. Businesses had been unable to pay rent under the weight of pandemic pressures, resulting in the company's rental income dropping $127 million in 2020. Number 12. The Collected Group. The Collected Group, which had 33 locations at its height, was already in the process of closing its locations when the pandemic hit, accelerating its move away from physical retail. Number 13. Paper Source. The company saw declining sales due to pandemic-related store closures, as well as a drop in demand for stationery as weddings and other events were canceled. Number 14. Belk. The department store chain emerged from bankruptcy. Founded in 1888, Belk was struggling to adapt to changing consumer preferences even before the pandemic. It entered bankruptcy with a significant debt load, $1.9 billion, which it was unable to service as the COVID-19 pandemic put a damper on its sales. Number 15. Solstice Marketing Concepts. At the time of bankruptcy, the company said sales at its 66 stores were down more than 50% from 2019 due to pandemic lockdowns. Number 16. L'Occitane. At the time of its filing, the company was behind on $15 million in rent and was looking to exit 29 burdensome leases where its sales had fallen, claiming its rent at those locations no longer reflect the market. Number 18. Love's Furniture. While Love's Furniture claimed that COVID-19 related supply chain disruptions were behind its financial challenges, its bankruptcy filings revealed that warehousing and inventory problems, which led to lost furniture, unhappy customers, and canceled orders, were also to blame. Number 19. Stock Plus Field. The farming and agricultural goods retailer announced that it would be closing its 25 locations after more than 55 years in business. CEO Matthew Webby alluded to the COVID-19 pandemic in his statement on the matter, commenting that there have been many challenges in 2020, and Stock Plus Field was not immune to them. Number 20. Francesca's. Francesca's said it would close roughly half of its 551 locations in malls across the U.S. after filing for bankruptcy protection in December. The women's clothing and accessories retailer had already closed 140 locations before declaring bankruptcy following 2 years of losses. In February 2021, Francesca's sold to Terramar Capital and Tiger Capital Group for $18 million. Number 21. Furniture Factory Outlet. Furniture Factory Outlet, which is owned by private equity firm Sun Capital Partners, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in November. At the start of 2020, the retailer had 68 stores across the U.S., but then supply chain disruptions and a drop in revenue due to the COVID-19 pandemic forced it to close 37 stores. Retailer American Freight acquired Furniture Factory Outlet in December 2020, rebranding F&O's remaining stores to American Freight. Number 22. Guitar Center. Already struggling against $1.3 billion in debt and online competition before the pandemic, Guitar Center was unable to overcome the loss in revenue related to COVID-19 related store closures. In December 2020, Guitar Center emerged from bankruptcy following an infusion of capital that wiped out $800 million of debt. Number 23. UFit Health Clubs. Gym chain UFit declared bankruptcy in November following a difficult year for gyms amid capacity limits and closures due to the pandemic. 24 Hour Fitness and Gold's Gym also filed for bankruptcy earlier in the year. As part of its bankruptcy deal, which was approved in December, UFit sold itself to a group of former lenders in exchange for debt forgiveness. Number 24. Century 21. New York discount retailer Century 21 will close all 13 of its stores after filing for bankruptcy in September. Its CEO blamed the chain's demise on its insurers for failing to pay the chain $175 million. National off-price retail chains like TJ Maxx and Ross, which boast much larger retail footprints, have reportedly seen growth amid the pandemic, despite the industry reliance on brick-and-mortar sales. Number 25. Tailored Brands. Tailored Brands, which owns Men's Wearhouse and Joe's A Bank, filed for bankruptcy in August. The company had been on the verge of bankruptcy for months, after sales declined more than 60% amid the pandemic. It announced in July that it would be closing up to 500 stores, over a third of its locations, and laying off 20% of its corporate staff. The company is set to emerge from bankruptcy by November. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. And that's all for the day, guys. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, peace.